But let's get into this. We got Tyrese Gibson. This has been a back and forth thing between him and his ex-wife, Samantha Lee. Looks like she brought him back to court. And I have a video clip. I have a couple of video clips I want to show you of Tyrese speaking about his relationship. We all know about it. It's been an ongoing segment in his life. I remember seeing Tyrese when he was crying on camera about not being able to see his daughter. Family court, I got to be honest, does not always go in the favor of men. Men usually always, to the certain degree, depending on certain circumstances, usually family court doesn't go in favor of men. And most of the time, women will get custody of the child. But the reason why this usually happens is because when there is a divorce, when there is a situation, women will strike while the iron is hot. They will go to court and they will file, but they'll file. As a man, you need to have 50-50 custody. I'm not only talking about this, but I'm talking about it from experience. When I went through my divorce and my marriage at one point in time, I was married for 15 years at one point in time, I made sure that I was involved from step to go and making sure that I had 50-50 custody. And of course, you got to have somebody that's sensible, that you can have a conversation with, and you can put the problems that you have in that relationship with that person, no matter what. We all get together with people. We fall in love with people. You know, man and woman will fall in love with each other, get married, and then you can have problems where the woman is not happy in the relationship. The man is just totally shutting her off. And then you can have problems where the man is not happy in the relationship, and then things can go awry. And then if you're getting married to a celebrity like Tyrese, then there's the question of Hollywood or Hollyweird and all that comes with that, which will make you, one, scratch their head. What comes with that is scratch their ears, of course. What comes with that is a certain level of stress when you've accumulated a certain amount of wealth, and now you become, as Tyrese says in his songs, it becomes, is it love or is it a transaction? In this case, is it a financial transaction? And then what leads to that, when a man does not pay his child support, or when a woman files a child support petition against a man, there's a risk of that man being locked up, being put in handcuffs, and going to jail. My question, though, right now, if you put a man in jail, then he's not able to work to give you child support from the get-go. But don't get me wrong. I think a man that has a child should take care of his child. He should be a man, and he should man up and take care of his child. Pay your child support. I pay child support. Luckily, I don't have drama with my ex, but you should be willing to take care of your child. And you would think that someone like Tyrese, with him being an actor and a recording musical star, that he would have the money. Now, he's already told us that he had a prenuptial agreement with Miss Samantha, who has actually a YouTube channel, everybody. There she is right there. She has a YouTube channel where she gives women advice about relationships. I find that very ironic, considering that she's had some ups and downs in her relationship status with Tyrese. It's been a back and forth situation between her and this brother. I don't like to see people break up when they were once happy in marriage and what have you. They have a child that's involved. Like I said, Tyrese back in some years ago was crying over not being able to see his child, feeling that his child was being kept away from him. And I got to be honest, everybody, there's a lot of men who pay child support and they're not able to see their child. And there's a problem there. Tyrese Gibson was in custody in Atlanta, where he lives, after a contentious child support hearing. Now, I want to read this off to you. A attentive support hearing where he was ordered to pay upwards of $73,000 to his former partner by a judge to avoid jail time, according to a court record. Now, there was videos on TMZ that he was in court. He said a few things. The judge was like, this is not how it works. Didn't like what he said. Held him in contempt of court. I think he was arrested, but then later on, I think he, under the condition of his arrest, they wanted him to pay a certain amount of money. The actor appeared in Fulton County Superior Court for the latest hearing in his ongoing battle with his ex-wife, Samantha Lee, with whom he shared a daughter. Okay. Gibson was ordered to pay, in this case, $10,690. Now, they got divorced. I'm just giving you some history before I get to the actual video that we're going to react to. Gibson, if I'm not mistaken, how this whole thing got started is that 4 years ago, 4 years within marriage, she wanted out of the marriage. Tyrese Gibson's wife, Samantha, divorces after nearly 4 years of marriage. And then originally, I guess this is either part of his prenuptials or this was agreed in court, Tyrese to pay ex-wife $10,000 per month in child support. That's a lot of money. But as I said here, he was ordered to pay $10,690 a month in child support. This is all the way back in April of 2023. I'm going to put this one back up again. Look at a date here. So originally, I think they got divorced, in 2020, because this was published in Celebrity News in 2020. And then this, the 10 grand a month, this came out in 2022 in Celebrity News. So that's what happened. Judge Farmer held Tyrese Gibson in contempt of court. This whole thing is a damn shame, y'all. It's a really damn shame. Kevin Farmer held him in contempt of court over the non-payment. So he went to jail. They're saying that he has not paid the amount that he agreed to his ex, Samantha Lee. Gibson was seen being handcuffed in court, then removed by a bailiff. Okay. Now check this out. Tyrese was given opportunity to avoid jail time if he would pay the $73,573 within 48 hours, according to the order for incarceration attained by the Hollywood Reporters. This is what was going on. Okay. Now, this included a $7,500 in legal fees paid by Lee. Gibson had been making a partial payment of $2,200 in child support payments monthly, just under 25% of the amount the court ordered in 2022. Remember, I put this up here earlier, everybody. 2022 is 10 grand. So this is why this happened to him, is that he's supposed to pay $10,000 a month, but he was actually, according to the court records, he was paying, in this case, Miss Lee, he was only paying her $2,200. I got to be honest, folks, that's 25%, as they said, way below what he was required to pay. Tyrese Gibson is making arrangements to pay the $75,525.73 left in jail in Atlanta, but he was released. Tyrese and Lee were married. Remember, they were married. Let's go back into the blissful pictures when they were in better times, everybody. They were married back in 2017. She filed a complaint for divorce in 2020, and the two later released a joint statement in which they called the split a painful, significant development in their lives. At the hearing this week, Tyrese was, the judge Farmer also informed Tyrese Gibson that the $10,690 monthly payments in child support that he was originally supposed to pay should have been paid since Lee filed for divorce in 2020, eventually ruling that he owed a back payment of check this out. This man owes a back payment, y'all. And like I said, men don't win in divorce court. Some men out there are going to say, well, men get raked over the coals when it comes to divorce. But this man has to pay Samantha Lee $169,000. That because he was only paying her $2,200 a month, which was way below the 25% that he was supposed to pay in child support over these years that they've been divorced. And now this is why she brought him to court. Now, I wanted to put this in perspective because there's always two sides to a story. Men don't really do, like I said, men don't really do well in these situations. The courts don't always go in our favor. And this, I got to be honest, this is the reason why, for good or for worse, why you don't have a lot of younger generation of men, the Z generation, who are deciding that they're not going to get married in some cases, because the thing is, the idea is that if I work hard all my life, bust my ass in school, or I have some type of talent, whether it be in sports, music, whatever, business, education, I bust my ass and I earn a lot of money, and I marry someone that wasn't there when I was building this empire. Now, there's some women that marry men when they had nothing. When you look at Judge Joe Mathis, his wife was with Judge Joe Mathis from the time that Judge Joe Mathis had nothing. That should count for something, because she was there with him, helping him build his career up and giving him children, right? But you have situations where you have athletes and you have entertainers who have built themselves up, and now they get married. And especially if you get married in California, now the woman can take half of all that you have developed, and then ask for the house and ask for custody of the child, and so on and so forth. This is a turnoff for the younger generation of men that are coming up today, who are saying, you know what, I don't want to get married. It's not worth it. I'm going to keep what I have and just date, have a good time, what have you. It just ain't, the juice ain't worth the squeeze, or the squeeze that you get from the juice is just not worth it for some guys. And so Tyrese Gibson, we have seen him on social media crying, whining, and talking about some of the things that he has gone through as it relates to relationships. This is his second divorce. Okay, he has another child, a daughter, and this situation has taken him through a lot, ups and downs. He talks about how her lawyers are bloodthirsty because he's a celebrity. They want to milk him dry of everything that he has. I'm going to play you the clip. We're going to react to it. The clip of Tyrese Gibson. He came on to Instagram this past week, really expressed himself about the situation at hand, what's going on. But I'm also, at the end of that clip, I'm going to show you another video of him from a year ago, where he really exposed his ex-wife. He really exposed her and had some choice things to say about her. Okay. And as you can see, she's a very attractive young lady. This is what happens to a lot of men. You get thirst trapped by these attractive women that you meet. They catch your attention and you say, oh my God, I just got to have her. And when you've got these very attractive women who look very unusual looking, exotic as some people would say, it can make the strongest man very weak, because oftentimes we have to stop as men thinking with our small heads, and we need to think with our big heads and make proper decisions about the kind of women that we're getting involved with before we marry them and get seriously entangled with them, and particularly before you have a child with them. And a lot of guys are looking at what's happening to guys just like Tyrese Gibson. Tyrese Gibson, for some people, we have something on social media, on the YouTube streets, called the manosphere. A guy like Tyrese is a cautionary tale for some people. Okay, he's a tale for some guys who say, see what's happening to him, we can't let that happen to us. Now, let me put this up here just to give you a breakdown about what is child support. Now, let me just break this down. The United States Census release about child support. 4.1 million parents receive child support in the form of cash payments ever since 2021, okay? About 86% of parents who receive cash child support payments had a legal informal agreement in place with child and other parents. Now, Tyrese Gibson said that he had such a agreement, in this case, a prenuptial agreement. So she knew exactly what she was going to get. He had it all drawn out in a contract. He said he didn't coerce her. He also said in a video that I'm going to show you tonight that she lied on him and told people in the media, using the media against him, that he had kicked her out and his daughter and had discarded her. He says that's all a lie. He says that she let other people, such as her family members and other people, influence her to leave him as a good man that he says that he was. He also says that it's funny how she would criticize this woman right here that he was married to, Miss Lee, that she would criticize other women about being materialistic, red bottom shoes, and all sort of things about how they mess up their relationships. And he said in that video that she was a hypocrite because she was doing all the same things that she was telling women not to do. And he said she's a clinical psychologist, or no, she's a clinical social worker. I want to correct that. She's a clinical social worker. So this is a young lady who has education. He says she makes about 100 or whatever thousand a year, and that she does well for herself. But we want to get into this right now. And one of the things that I can sympathize with Tyrese is the love that you have for your child, right? A man's love for his child, because when it comes to black men, there's been stuff put out there in the social media or in the media that black men don't take care of their kids. But they've come out with studies in the past, peer research studies to show that black men are some of the best fathers in the world and in America. And even if we don't live with our kids or we're not married to the ex-wife anymore, that we still take the time to be in our kids' life every step of the way. We're the most involved in terms of taking them to school, taking care of them, feeding them, spending time with them. And there's been a myth that black men are not in the lives of their kids. Now, I got to be honest, Tyrese did not pay the amount that he was supposed to agree to or had agreed to, or at least, should I say, the courts told him he had to pay. And he was only paying 25% of the $10,000, which is just $2,200 a month. That's just not going to get it. You would think with him making the money that he's making in entertainment that he should be able to pay that. But then you got to also realize we don't really know how much these entertainers really make. We may think they make a whole bunch of money and but that doesn't change the fact that as a man, you must take care of your kid and your responsibilities. And as a result of them going to court over this whole situation, he got arrested. It was an embarrassing situation. Let me go to the clip right now, because in this clip, he's telling you that he's already knows he's going to be arrested. So I think he did this clip prior to going to court, and he almost was predicting that he knew he was going to be arrested. He's going to tell the tea here. So let's get into it, folks. Let's hear what he has to say. Let's get into it. This is Tyrese Gibson. In the beginning of this audio clip, or this video clip, you're going to hear him talking. You're not going to see him too much for a while, like he's hiding from the camera. And then eventually he's going to pull his camera up. Maybe he didn't know that his camera was down or something. And he's going to show himself. He's going to reveal himself, and he's going to go into a whole bunch of stuff here. So let's go here and hear what he has to say, folks. And here we go.
I'm going to go ahead and get my outfit together. I think I'm gonna go eat me some red lobster.
Red lobster.
I ain't never been arrested. Never went to jail in my life. Never. Why? Because I don't do anything illegal.
So you have to ask yourself, why is it Tyrese Gibson? He must know. This is the thing. I'm going to say it right now. The only way that Tyrese could make this prediction is because Tyrese already knew that he was only paying 25% of his child support, which he knew going all the way back. I'm going to remind you all again, going all the way back to 2022, he was ordered to pay his ex-wife $10,000 per month. Now, you may not agree with this amount. You may say it's an outrageous amount. I'm sure there's some people who are going to say out there it should be more. I always believe that if a man has to pay child support to a woman, then that woman has to solely use that money for the child. You see what I'm saying? And that as a man paying child support, tell me if you agree with me or disagree with me. As a man paying child support for your child, that woman should have to show you some type of receipts, some type of proof that a majority of your money is going to the child and not going to her, not going to her so she can go out and party it up, you see, or so that she can kick it with another man for a spaghetti dinner. I'm just saying. I just don't think that should happen. You see, I think they should change the law, and that's because men need to be advocates for themselves, just the way women advocate for themselves. A lot of men complain about, I got to pay child support. I hate child support. I'm not going to pay it. I'm getting raked over the coals. This is happening to men because as men, we're struggling with this. We're angry about it because we haven't come together as men, just like women do, and petition the politicians, create coalitions of men who are fighting for change, because it's the politicians that make the laws, and women do a great job of advocating for themselves in this country we call America. Men, we do a horrible job of advocating for ourselves, just in the same way we do a horrible job of taking care of our health, and then we die, and all these sort of things that happen. Let's go ahead.
I want to send this message out to all of the fathers. This is not man versus woman. Make sure I say that. Take all that shit off the table. What I love right now is that from all of the interviews that I've been doing, all of the women who are probably always going to see things through the lens of a woman, feminist, women's group, you know, it's like, I don't care if the woman is wrong. I don't care what she doing. What's she asking for? What's she trying to get in alimony, trying to crack the prenup, trying to get this for child support? I don't give a fuck how wrong she is. Most women are always going to see things through the lens of women.
Now, do you agree with Tyrese that women are going to see things only through their lens and not your lens? And that other women who hear about this, they're going to be in support of women. Now, you certainly see that on social media. You see it on YouTube. I see there's a bunch of videos out there about this. And you have women taking their side. And you're going to have men that are going to take the side of the man. And everybody is in their battle of the sexes mode, right? But Tyree already said in this situation that this isn't about the battle of the sexes. He says, take that off the table. But then this is the problem, everybody. He says it's not, but in a way it is, because Tyrese has been crying and upset over this woman for a number of years, constantly coming to social media and telling us as the public that she's raking him over the coals every which way but left. And now he wants to tell you and me that, well, take that all off the table. It's not about, but then yet at the same time say, well, you know, women are always going to go with women. Well, that's quite obvious in a lot of ways, but let's hear the rest.
So I feel like we're in a real place right now where I could not be more proud of the women that have been vocal and outspoken about all of this goofy shit that my ex is doing and still doing. As a matter of fact, both of my ex. I know y'all are quick to say, playing victim, gaslighting, manipulation, narcissist. They gonna put all kind of shit on you. to make sure that whatever they decide to believe about you, It's what they want to believe because what? I was born a man. I got it.
Right, but Tyrese is. Let me just say this, folks. Do you agree with Tyrese or do you disagree with him? But I think he's also saying this because this is not the first time that Tyrese has been raked over the coals on social media. Like I said, he's got another ex. He's been going through this for a number of years, back and forth, and he always brings his situation to the social media streets. He'll let us know how he feels about what he's going through, right? It's almost like he's crying out for help. But at the end of the day, man, you were told to pay $10,000 a month and you were paying $2,200. Now, some of you out there are going to say, oh, that's enough money. That's enough money for that woman and that child. But you don't know their situation. But he was already told this before. So the question is, if Tyrese Gibson was just, if he would just give her the money, I'm just saying, don't shoot the messenger here. I'm just saying if he just would have given her the money that he had agreed to in court, or maybe he didn't agree to it, but maybe the court or the judges made him and said, you're going to give this woman this much money. And maybe he's having some financial problems. Maybe he's not, he didn't get I know he's got a movie out in 1992 that they say is pretty good. He's made a lot of money off of the the Fast and Furious movies. Maybe he's got some other financial issues tied up that's affecting him from paying this each month. That's a lot of money, but that's what the court ordered. And as a result of this is why Tyrese is sort of in this situation, even though he may not like the way Samantha Lee has been treating him or using, according to him, the lawyers and the legal system to attack him or to impact him in some way or fashion.
No one's after me. There's no Crips and Bloods after me. There's nobody in corporate America after me. There's nobody at none of these movie studios after me. There's none of these record labels after me. I got baby mama drama.
Boom. I'm so glad that he said that, because one of the things that I notice, especially within with black folks, is that every time something happens to one of these celebrities, we are quick to run to the it's a conspiracy theory. And I got to be honest, it's got nothing to do with conspiracy theory. This has to do with Tyrese and what he's been doing in his interaction with the woman that he was married to, Miss Lee. Nothing to do with conspiracy theory. He's not doing a blood oath. He's not joining the Illuminati, because that's why he's saying what he's saying, because people are going to be quick to jump to those conclusions. No, what Tyrese Gibson's got going on is it's very simple. As he said, it's baby mama drama. And men, this is why you got to watch where you put your seed, who you marry, how many women you're messing around, especially if you've got resources that you're concerned about losing. You got to think with the big head and not the small head. And this is where Tyrese Gibson gets himself in trouble here, because men are strong physically, but women mentally, and then their beauty is sort of their magic or their ability to take a strong man and break us down, right? Because we're caught up into the human flesh of the beauty of the woman and how the woman makes us feel, that can override our logic to say, I really shouldn't be dealing with this woman because she has some issues, but damn it, she's good in bed. She's fine. The booty is popping. And I don't know. The booty, like I said, the booty is popping, and and maybe I just I can't take it. I gotta have her. And this can affect a lot of men with very, very attractive women. We're not talking about average looking women here. There's nothing average about her. We're talking about very attractive women, off the charts like. And let's get back to Tyrese here. It's sad, this whole situation, what's happening.
You get in a relationship, with an entertainer who happens to be a public figure,
What's going on,
or
DJ
somebody
Chuck
who's a real
and
estate
Alicia?
tycoon, or somebody in the tech space, or somebody who has an actual profitable business. Now, this is what's crazy. Since I've been so public about all the shit that I've been dealing with, you would not, I have lost count of how many women who have walked up to me
Uh-oh.
who are the high net worth individuals, the ones with all the money and the success, talking about how their ex-husband is getting alimony.
You hear what Tyrese Gibson is saying here, that high value women are telling him that you've got men that are getting the alimony from these high value women. But my question is what Tyrese Gibson saying just a distraction from really dealing with his issues? Yes, there's men out there that are involved with high value women, and they may be getting a settlement in a divorce or getting some type of money or some kind of deal. But this is not really about other men, Tyrese. I'm sorry, brother. This is really, at the end of the day, it's really about you and the choices that you make as a man when you put your seed out there with a woman that turned out not to be in the best interest for you, because you've been saying that she hasn't been in your best interest and you love your daughter. The question is, I'm wondering, why is it that Tyrese Gibson doesn't have, with his lawyers, and he's paid a lot of lawyer fees. I'm just wondering, why is it that this man, Tyrese Gibson, and any man for this matter, why is it that this brother doesn't have 50-50 custody? I have 50-50 custody in my personal situation, but why is it that Tyrese Gibson doesn't have 50-50 custody? That's the question. What's the answer? That's really what he needs that could neutralize a lot of these problems, is the 50-50 custody. He's going through this, quite frankly, gentlemen, and ladies, because he doesn't have 50-50 custody. And another mistake that men do, and I've done the research on this, is that one reason why men don't do well in divorce court, or when it comes to child support, should I say, is the first thing you have to do as a man is make sure you get lawyers who specialize in family court law, but specifically specialize in helping men, law firms that are advocates for men issues and know what the hell they're doing and they have expertise in this. Getting the right type of lawyer is very important, and knowing the laws that are in that state that you're in, but you must file. I think men should file first to get that 50-50 custody, because once you let the woman file and you don't go to court and file for your part, your custody too, and she gets full custody, then in a nutshell, she will be able to pull from your resources for a child. And at the end of the day, if you have a child, it is your responsibility to take care of that child financially, emotionally, and spiritually. But I am going to say this. It's not right for a man to pay child support and never get a chance to see his child. We shouldn't be paying gods of money, and then we're not allowed to see our own flesh and blood child. Now, I have a problem with that. Let's go back to Tyrese Gibson here.
And how the husband is getting child support payments, and the husband is getting all that he's doing freeloading. The husband got the house. Doesn't really happen that often, but
no, it doesn't.
When you were born a man, you go into a courtroom and you understand clearly that there is a preset menu that says you were born a man, fuck you. That's what the preset menu says. Now, y'all, I've been laughing.
Now, do you agree with Tyrese Gibson here? Make sure you put comments in the comment section of this video when it's over, this broadcast, this podcast. He's right. Men in this society are seen as, we're not seen as victims. We're seen as the perpetrators. Women are normally seen as victims in our society. They're seen as the weaker sex, should I say. we're seen as the aggressors. Men are seen as the predators, should I say. And when you go into court, there are social biases towards men. But even if you know that as a man, as Tyrese is saying, it is as a man, you have to make sure you get the right type of lawyers who have a track record for understanding how to work the court in your behalf. If you get the wrong type of lawyers, you're in trouble. And if you don't understand the laws in your state, you're in trouble again. And the most important thing I'm going to say again, as a man, as long as you don't get the 50-50 custody, you're in jeopardy by default. The woman has all the power at this point in time. And the reason why family court is such, in my opinion, a racket is because the judge, the lawyers, and the whole damn system, they don't really give a damn about the child, you, or your ex. They just give a damn about the fees that they're going to get, the taxes, the money that they're going to make off of the divorce and the child support. I live in California. In California, let me educate you all on something real quick as I get back to the video. It won't be a minute. In California has a racket when it comes to child support. Let's say, for example, I'm supposed to give my ex-wife $1,000 a month. So and this is only based if the court orders me to do so, where the court is heavily entangled in your business, right? So now everything goes through the court. You pay the woman $1,000 a month. The child doesn't even get the full $1,000 a month in California. The child may see $500 of that $1,000 because the rig system in California in particular is that they're taking right off the top like a pimp. They're taking their money, their fees. So the state is making a lot of money off of your child support, off of the fees that are involved in you going to family court. So it's a racket. So it's almost like the system is incentivized to break up families, or at least squeeze as much charmin out of that bread, squeeze as much juice out of that carton of apple juice, squeeze as much resources out of the man with the idea that it's for the child's best needs, when in fact the state is also making themselves a profit off of your situation. This is how bad the family court situation is, the child support system courts is, because they get them a hunk of the action. At least I know this to be the fact in California. If you know it to be the facts in other states, leave comments in the comment section of this video and let me know. Let's get back to Tyrese Gibson right now.
Laughing, smiling, having fun, doing my interviews, my vibrations and my energy has been up, and I've been over here silently and quietly in a certain capacity fighting these attacks. Why does Samantha's lawyers just request all of my bank statements? Why are they sending screenshots of my IMDb page, which stands for Internet Movie Database? They're looking up all the movies that I just did and asking for money and what's in this account and how much money did you make for Voltron Travel and how many albums have you sold and this and that. Like, leave me the fuck alone, man. I did a prenuptial agreement for a reason. The prenuptial agreement spells out everything that she get and was supposed to get. Why are we now 4 years and 3 law firms into this woman still coming after me? And why have they, the lawyers representing her, knowing that she's with a celebrity, a public figure, a high net worth individual, why have they confirmed on record that they've only got $5,000 from her and they've been representing her for 4 years? Why is this so? I'll tell you why. Because lawyers, not all, but certain lawyers out here will look at a celebrity and a high net worth individual as a pot of gold. And they will milk the shit out of you.
Tell the truth.
And she's sitting over there letting them do it. Do you know how many people have went through a divorce and never went to court? You know how many people got issues with their baby mama, baby daddy, and never went to court? And they're just being amicable and respectful. You cheated, you lied, you hurt me, you this, you that, you moved on, you got remarried again, you this, you that. But I'm not about to take you to court. I'm not.
Now, Tyreek is making a good point here. When I went through my divorce many years ago, many, I didn't have to go through a harsh court situation because my ex and I were able to have amicable conversation. We were both level-headed. We also went through a situation where we saw people that we knew go through divorces. So we had this kind of conversation about if we ever were to break up, how we would want to go about handling things. So when it came to child support and what have you, from the very get-go, we didn't allow the courts to come in between our relationship. And it was already a known fact that I would be taking care of my child and paying the child support, and I would have 50-50 custody, which is why I don't have the type of drama. I don't earn the kind of money that Tyrese is probably earning as an actor or a recording star. But it doesn't matter how much money I earn less than him. It's still the same system. I'm not impacted by the system as he is, and this man's got money to get the best lawyers and everything. I've never had handcuffs put on me because of child support because I've got 50-50 custody. Therefore, I've got more control in the situation. And let's get back to Tyrese.
I'm not doing that to the father of my child. I'm not this and I'm not that. But the moment that you put a little celebrity sizzle on that thing, the moment that that net worth is a little different.
Right. That's true.
All kind of intentions come out.
True.
Now, let me make sure I say this.
It's
Because
true,
it's
folks.
like,
It's true.
take care of them kids. Motherfucker, I've never not taken care of my kids. Let me say it again. I've never not taken care of my kids. As a matter of fact, as much as I travel, as much as I got going on, as much as I'm moving, I'm going to tell y'all the biggest blessing ever. Thank you, Jesus. My 17-year-old Shayla has never called me Tyrese. My 5-year-old has never called me Tyrese. You know who I am in this house? Dad. And when they refer to me when they not with me, they say that's my father. I am dad. And you know why I'm dad?
Now I have to stop it right there. I think that if what Tyrese Gibson is saying is facts, according to him, he's saying that my kids they always call me dad. They know I'm their father and that I take care of them. I think that's a great thing, given all the drama that's been going on between him and his ex-wife. Let's continue.
So what I bought them, not because of the clothes, not because of the square footage of the house, not because of the cars in the driveway, and definitely not because of this fake jewelry I wear. I'm a father. Because that exchange between your son or your daughter is nothing that could be purchased. It's something that they feel about you as a father because you have a presence in their life.
Very true.
All this shit about money, arguing back and forth, that's for me and my ex to deal with. But when it comes to my kids, my babies, they've never wanted for anything. But I can't stop their mothers from coming after me for more. My mama, rest in peace.
But let's stop it. Now, I have to stop it right here. Tyrese Gibson says that he takes care of his kids. He loves his kids. He spends time with them, or he at least takes care of them, and they call him daddy. And I can really appreciate that. But this is where Tyrese Gibson, I caught what he was saying here. He says that even though their mothers will come after me for more money, this is the problem, though. I don't know if Samantha Lee is coming after you for more money or if she's actually coming, from what I read tonight, it looks like she's coming after you for the money that you were supposed to give her back when you guys got divorced 4 years ago. right? And you were supposed to give her the $10,000. And the court ordered you to pay $169,000 in back child support because you were only giving, as I'm going to say again, 25% of the 10 grand, which according to the courts, you were only giving her $2,200 a month. So when you say, well, even though their mothers are coming after me for more money, in the case, I don't know about your other ex, but in the case of Samantha Lee, it appears that she's coming after you, at least according to the news reports and the court reports. She's coming after you because you still weren't paying the full amount. So you can make an argument, if this is true, that she's not coming after you for more money. She's actually coming after you for the money that you had not paid her from the original agreement in your divorce or maybe your prenuptial agreement. I'm just saying, folks, I'm just trying to analyze this and break it down a little bit. You let me know how you feel about where I'm coming from with this point right here in the comment section of this video. Because that's one of the reasons why, I guess, with the judge holding him in contempt of court when he was on the stand and he said a few things that the judge didn't like. And then once they held him in contempt of court and he had to pay legal fees, then they kept saying, hey, we need you to pay this back payment. Because I think he really owed her $10,691 a month or something like that. Just wanted to say that because he said something that I wanted to catch there. Let's go ahead.
Mama didn't raise no fool. And my mama didn't raise anybody that would just lay down and take whatever somebody wants to dump on me.
Let me say what's going on. Identity Withheld, another CG, last call. DJ Chuck, it's good to see you, man. It's been a minute, DJ. I appreciate everybody that's come around in the chat room. This video will get more views after the fact. This is really my channel over here is more of an upload type channel. Depending on the topic, you know, time of the day, night, people come over, but this will pick up bigger views after the fact. But I appreciate you all supporting the channel and coming into the chat room. I appreciate you guys. I'll give you all a clap. Appreciate it. Let's get back to Tyrese Gibson.
Now, it's funny how I get along with everybody. You don't see me doing no interview. Even when it came to little random ass shit I was dealing with in the past with Tank and Genuine. Man, come on, man. That's like laughable. We do have some concerts coming up, by the way, with BBD, Silk, and Tevin Campbell. So y'all make sure y'all get y'all tickets to support real R&B.
Now, I don't blame Tyrese Gibson for promoting his concerts coming up, given the fact that he's got to pay the $169,000 in back pay on child support, or maybe he already paid it, so he's a little light in the pockets. So, brother, you got to promote the concerts. You got to promote your record. You got to promote movies because you got to make the money to pay that child support because you didn't technically pay the amount, according to the courts, allegedly, that you didn't pay the full $10,000 a month that you were supposed to be paying this woman, Samantha Lee, who actually, by the way, has a YouTube channel, y'all. And she is a legitimate clinical social worker, makes pretty good money. But doesn't matter if she's making, Tyrese said that she makes over $100,000 a year or whatever the amount. And I'm going to play the video on that when we get through this video. But this whole situation is very interesting. Let's get back to it.
That's if they don't lock me up in the morning.
Uh-oh. Lock him up.
I know I'm different.
Uh-oh.
I know I'm doing what most people don't do. I can't even say I'm in fear right now. If he's going to arrest me, I'm just going to say, fuck it, man, get it over with. But the details are very simple. I had one of the most detailed and specific prenuptial agreements in place. And I can talk about this publicly because it's already been addressed publicly. Literally one of the first paragraphs in my prenup. And these are some legal words. It's called contested versus non-contested. And let me break this down for the folks that don't know. When you have a non-contested argument, that means everything about these documents, it's non-contested. We're not arguing about anything. There's nothing to discuss. There's nothing to go back and forth about. There's nothing to unpack. Everything that's been mapped out in this prenuptial agreement has been spelled out and laid out. She had an attorney to represent her for the prenup, and I had one as well. That's a non-contested prenuptial agreement. They have contested. They have said that there are certain things in the prenup that they don't feel the same way about, and they want to change it. And so now they're saying it's a non-contested prenup, and yet there's at least 15 different examples of them contesting the validity of the prenup. And one of the first terms of the prenup says that if you want to argue about anything that has to do with the four corners of these documents that she signed and I signed, you're 100% responsible for your own legal fees. That's what the prenup says.
So I get the feeling that Tyrese is saying that some kind of way he's paying her legal fees. And I remember reading tonight where it said that Tyrese was given the opportunity to avoid jail time if he pays $73,525.73 within 48 hours, according to the order for incarceration attained by the Hollywood Reporter. This included him paying a $7,500 in legal fees paid by Lee. So I almost feel like he's saying that they were trying to make him pay her legal fees. Gibson had been making a partial $2,200 in child support payments, mostly just under 25% of the amount. But this includes the $7,500 in legal fees paid by Lee. Now, he didn't pay that. It was Miss Samantha Lee who paid, according to reports, the Hollywood Reporter, she had already paid $7,500 in legal fees herself. But Tyrese almost, it appears like he's saying that everything financially was falling on him. But let's hear more. Maybe I'm hearing that wrong. Maybe I'll play that part again.
Non-contested prenuptial agreement. They have contested. They have said that there are certain things in the prenup that they don't feel the same way about, and they want to change it. And so now they're saying it's a non-contested prenup, and yet there's at least 15 different examples of them contesting the validity of the prenup. And one of the first terms of the prenup says that if you want to argue about anything that has to do with the four corners of these documents that she signed and I signed, you're 100% responsible for your own legal fees.
Boom. So I am right. He said they agreed as part of the prenuptial that they would pay their own legal fees. I'm getting the impression that Tyrese is saying that her legal fees have somehow fallen in his wheelhouse of responsibility that is now on him. That's what it sounds like. Maybe I'm wrong. You all let me know if that's correct in the comment section of this video. Let's continue.
That's what the prenup says. You know, they trying to get me for over $1 million right now for legal fees. You know, she's hired 3 law firms. If you want to argue about the prenup, pay for your own lawyers. And when you lose, you got to pay for all my lawyers. I got one lawyer that's been representing me from the whole time. Incredible, by the way. Tanya Mitchell Graham. In-fucking-credible. If you want to argue about the prenup, that's fine. You're legally able to do so. But when you do so, That paragraph right there says you are responsible for 100% of your own legal fees, which means she's now got 3 law firms. 3 law firms, but she's really got 4. Because all of the legal fees that I've been paying Tanya Mitchell Graham for the last 4 years is all going to Samantha.
Boom. So I was right. He's saying that all the legal fees that he's been paying to his lawyer has somehow gone to his ex, Samantha, who you see right here. That somehow the prenup said that if you get into a non-contested situation, you can't, then you pay your own legal fees. But Gibson is basically telling us that he's paying his own, and somehow his lawyer, the money he's giving his lawyer, is somehow finding itself into her pocket. That's according to what Tyrese Gibson is saying here. Tyrese, if that's true, do you agree or disagree that seems to be wrong? That seems to not be right. But then I got to go back to what I said again, that if he was paying the amount that he was told by court that he had to pay, which was the 10 grand a month, my question is, would he be in this court situation if he's only been paying 25% of the 10 grand that he was supposed to pay, which means he's only paying her $2,200 a month? If he was paying her what he was supposed to be paying her, would he be in this situation? I'm just asking the question. And then the other question is, maybe he doesn't have the money. Maybe the money's not flowing in his pocket as much. Maybe record sales are not as good. Maybe he hasn't done a lot of movies. Remember, they had the big strike in Hollywood with the writer's strike. So a lot of entertainers weren't doing any movies, weren't doing much. But there's still no excuse for brother Tyrese, because why? If you've got some financial changes going on financially for you, this is for all men to learn this lesson. If you got a change in your finances, then it's up to you to go to court and file the proper paperwork to see if you can get your child support reduced or amended based on a change of income, or if that's what was going on. I'm just asking the question here, y'all. Let's continue.
That's the prenup that we both signed. But I've been in my good bag, man. I've been laughing. I've been having fun. I've been running around doing all these interviews, man. I just want to tell everybody out there, man, who's gave me their stage and their platform and their podcast, their radio station. I just want to tell y'all, man, y'all could have had anybody on y'all show. Y'all could have invited anybody on there to be on y'all show. Y'all have helped me to promote 1992. It's got an A- cinema score. Man, people are still in the theaters watching 1992 right now. And Beautiful Pain, my album, completely on fire. I heard it's like number 40 or something on the worldwide Apple Music charts, which is crazy. I've never had that. And then my song Wildflower, dedicated to my mother, is still flying. And I'm just trying to be positive, man. I'm trying to activate some good energy. I've already finished the fucking album and pushed the hardest album I've ever done out. And I just keep getting bombarded by these legals, man. Just last week in LA, some random white lady jumped out the bushes on me and tried to serve me. And I fucking backed up. And then she threw the papers at me and they landed in the street. And I said, ma'am, you never served me. She said, you have been served. She's filming me. And I pull out my camera and I'm filming her. And I said, ma'am, the paperwork is not in my hand. As a matter of fact, you put it all in the street. You're loitering. This is a really nice neighborhood right here, and you got trash all over the street.
I want to stop it there because I want to ask this question of everybody as I come back to what's left of the video there of Tyrese, everybody. Tyrese Gibson. This is the question I want to ask. He's got the 1992. You see the 92 background right there on that picture. This is the problem there. I hear what Tyrese is saying, that every time things are going good for him in life with the music and the movies, that something keeps hitting him with the lawyer situations and the law and coming to court. But this is the thing I got to ask everybody, and please make a comment in the comment section of this video, this podcast. If Tyrese Gibson was able to pay the $10,000 that he was ordered to pay years ago, then could Tyrese Gibson be his own blame for the situation that he finds himself in now? Because they decided that he owes her $169,000, that's called, in back child support. Would he be the victim? Would he have, how can I say this? Then wouldn't he be the person that victimized himself? Because had he paid what he was supposed to pay, would Tyrese Gibson be in court where he got up in court, said a few things that the judge didn't like, and as a result, he was held in contempt of court, arrested, I guess handcuffed. I guess they put him in handcuffs. And then now he has to pay all these fees to get out of his situation. He's being given ultimatums by the judge that you got to pay this $10,691. But wait a minute, sir, you actually owe this woman $169,000. Would that had happened to him if Tyrese Gibson, I'm just asking the question, don't shoot the messenger, if he had taken care of business in the past and kept the consistency up to now, would he find himself in this situation with Samantha Lee? Or do you look at her as just a woman who's trying to milk him for everything he's worth, while even though she's not with him anymore and she has a child, she's going to make sure that she can get as much out of him to set her lifestyle up, to make sure that she can maintain a certain lifestyle that he may have put her in, and drain him dry until there's nothing else left to drain and dry of the money. That's one scenario. Do you agree with that part of it, that's what her intentions are? Or is this really about Tyrese Gibson, looking depressed like this guy right here? Is this just him complaining about a situation that he should have took care of properly so that he wouldn't find himself in this situation today in 2024, where he says he's got so much things going good for him right now, and but then this happens? It's just it's a question. Let's get back to Tyrese Gibson.
Can I get back to my joy, my happiness, and my magic? Can these baby mamas leave me the fuck alone, man? Can they just stop hiring lawyers that's willing to work for them for pro bono because they got a pot of gold waiting on them at the end of the fucking rainbow? Can y'all just move on, go date somebody, go engage, go start a new family, go just leave me the fuck alone, man? Wow. I mean, fucking thirst buckets, man. And I know these are the mother of my children, but this is true. This is too much.
What's going on, BDBGP? What's going on? Good to have you over here. What's going on, Queen Ivy? This is very interesting stuff. Wait till you hear the last video that I'm going to play for you tonight, and that's going to be a short video too as well, everybody.
It's been 17 years of this shit, man. I'm about $15 million at this point into having a relationship with my daughters.
Yeah, because remember, Tyrese, some time back, was very upset and said that he couldn't see his kid, or I think one of his daughters. He says it's been 17 years that he's been involved in this situation with her. Remember, as I said earlier in the podcast, Tyrese and Lee were married in 2017. She filed a complaint for divorce in 2020. So he's been involved with her back and forth for some time, maybe even before they got married technically. I believe if a person shows you who they are before you marry them, if a person shows you who they really are, you should believe them for what they are. So if you're a man and you get with a woman and she shows you certain traits that are concern of you, you better heed those traits. Same thing for women. If you get involved with a man and he shows you certain traits that are not very desirable for the long run, I think you should cut it quits before you marry them. And then now things become more complicated.
And I'm not going to cry. I'm just explaining to y'all, man, that this shit is exhausting. And women can relate, the higher income earners, the breadwinners of their marriages and their families that's been drugged into court. Y'all can relate to this. I'm not just saying this because I'm a man. Does it happen to y'all more often? Does it happen to us when we get drugged through the court? No. Just walking into the courtroom as a man, especially a black successful man in Atlanta in front of these.
Now, it's right. I that part right there, I tend to agree with Tyrese Gibson that if you are a black man, just a man in general, when you walk into those courts in these situations, 9 out of 10 times you're not going to win it. The woman's going to win it. You're going to be seen as the perpetrator, as the predator. You're going to be seen as the one that's wrong. I tend to agree with that assessment by Tyrese Gibson, but I can't help but wonder, had he been able to pay or had he just paid the money he was supposed to pay, would he find himself in this situation? Now, everybody, as we get close to the conclusion of our podcast tonight, let me show you a video that came out maybe a year ago where he you're going to see the genesis of where all this stuff comes from and why I believe Tyrese has the attitude he has about her, Samantha Lee, because he says that she abandoned him and took his child from him once upon a time ago and showed certain signs. He kind of exposed her in this video that I'm going to show you and talked about how she allowed other people to cause her to leave her man, in this case, to leave Tyrese Gibson.
Tell the truth.
Let me let you hear this right now. This is a classic, what you're going to hear. He's going to break some things down, and you let me know what you think about it. And here we go. It's going to take us on home to the conclusion of this podcast tonight.
She decided to file for divorce. I never cheated, never went on a secret date. I know some dudes who had multiple kids behind their wives' back, never had sex, never did anything sexually, never did a lunch, a dinner, never flirted, no DMs, no text messages, completely faithful. And I want to believe I got more access to women than most of the dudes I know. 5 straight years, completely faithful. The story of my life is I'm divorced. And the only woman I've ever kissed in 5 years was Naomi Harris in the movie Black and Blue, and I kissed her on her forehead.
So right here, he's basically telling you the trials and tribulations. So this is prior to Tyrese Gibson going to court in Atlanta in Fulton County. This is prior to all of that. This is sort of the genesis of where he is right now, because he did say in that video that he's been going through this for 17 years, dealing with Miss Lee as it relates to the child support and the back and forth with going to court around these issues with his ex-wife. Let's get back to it.
Didn't even kiss her on the lips. Got a beautiful child, This woman just woke up one day and decided this marriage ain't for me. And where I've lost all my sleep over all these years, and she hasn't even told me to this day why.
I'm going to stop it right there. That's pretty powerful stuff right there. I got to make this very clear and very simple. The majority of relationships especially in America, when women go into relationships, they are the main individuals that break relationships up, meaning they end up being the ones who say that they don't want to be in a relationship anymore. It could be for a variety of reasons. Maybe the man is abusive, or a lot of times because the woman is not happy, doesn't feel her needs are being met. Some kind of way that sometimes a woman just wakes up and feels like she wants to be by herself and live her life by herself, and that's it. There's been situations where you've had high-profile athletes that were married to women, and these high-profile athletes got most of the attention, and the woman felt like she wasn't getting any attention, that she's not the star, that she's not the one being put up on a pedestal. So you've had women that have divorced very well-known athletes because that athlete gets a lot of attention, and she sort of falls in his shadow. Like I said, there's women who get a divorce because there's interpersonal problems in a relationship in terms of communication. The woman may not feel happy that you as a man is communicating. She may not feel like she's heard, that she's respected. She may not feel like that she's loved. Remember, women in general work on emotions. Men, we're supposed to operate on logic. And so overall, when women get married or have relationships, and those relationships end, it's normally not because the man wanted to end the relationship. Normally it's because the woman doesn't feel the same anymore in general. Now, it's not only this stat came out not just this week, not this long ago. It's not only women when they're dating men, but it's also women when they're dating other women and they're having relationships with other women. We heard about the brat and her marriage, that it's falling apart, that the woman that I can't think of her name. I think they're both from Atlanta. She has a successful beauty product business, and her and the brat got married, and come to find out the brat's filing for a divorce because she ended up messing around with a man when she, I guess, was supposed to be gay or lesbian. And then I did some research and found out that most 75% of lesbian marriages and relationships, 75% of them end up in a divorce or a breakup or something. So I think a divorce when it comes to marriage. So women are breaking up with women, get into relationships with women and are breaking up with women at a higher rate than even they do with men. And then, so I'm just bringing that out because this is just the facts. People may not like it, but it's a factor, right? And of course, women also break up with men because the man is cheating. In this case, the brat is filing for divorce from her wife because she was clapping cheeks. In this case, with another man. Interesting. Let's get back to Tyrese here.
As I pull out my calculator, and everybody pull out their calculator, trying to add it all up. In the Bible, it says leave and cleave. Anything that's negative, dysfunctional, that's trying to pull you away from your marriage and your family setting. In the Bible, it says leave and cleave. And it's very clear to me that her mother never wanted her to leave or cleave to her husband or her family. She still got her husband, but she was able to manipulate you out of your husband. And your dumb ass let her do it. So fast forward. File for divorce, prenuptial agreement as detailed as it gets. We covered everything. I've never been in a relationship with a woman in my life who has went above and beyond to sell me and oversell me. I don't want your money. I don't care about your celebrity, your status. I don't care about shoes, purses, handbags. I mean, I met this girl in a $17 sundress.
Now, this is important what Tyrese Gibson is going to say. Tyrese Gibson is going to say about Miss Lee. He says that he met her in a $10 sundress. He said that she doesn't care about materialistic things. But yet, this is the stuff that she says to people on her YouTube channel or the women that follow her. And Tyrese is about to expose her, in this case, for allegedly being a fraud, meaning she claims all these things to teach women not to be for the materialistic stuff. But yet, I think Tyrese is saying that the very thing that she's telling women on social media not to be is exactly what she is, according to Tyrese Gibson. Not according to me, according to what he's saying here. Here we go.
This woman convinced me. I don't care about your money. I'm not clout chasing. I don't care about social media. I don't care about nothing that's got to do with nothing. As a matter of fact,
that's not true.
This is the funniest shit.
That's not true.
I won't throw you under the bus on this level, but I will say
that's not true. She does. She is on social media. She's on YouTube. She's on Love Samantha Lee. That's the name of her YouTube channel. Here's a clip from her YouTube channel you're looking at right now. So interesting. I think Tariq is speaking some facts here.
Tell the truth.
But let's hear. Let's hear.
This. Every time we left a dinner, or anytime anybody came to our house, and their woman, their wife, red bottoms, Hermes bags, Louis Vuitton, diamonds, watches,
interesting,
nice hair, makeup, whatever cosmetic work they may have done. I mean, this woman used to rip women to pieces, talking shit about women and their choices of shoes, clothes, diamonds, nice things, because she, in her mind, was so against it. You make $160,000 a year right now as a licensed clinical social worker. I make what I make. You left me when my daughter was 1 year old. The prenuptial agreement was so extensive because it's everything that you sold me on. I don't care about your house, your money, who you are, materialistic things. You left me unexpectedly. You took our daughter. You left while I was out of town filming a movie. You've already lied on 15 different court documents under penalty of perjury. You left me.
Well, see, this is what I don't understand, everybody. If what Tyrese Gibson is saying is correct about Miss Lee, then why does he find himself in a situation just this week or just this past week where he was held in contempt of court, where he had to be ordered to pay $169,000 because he had back child support? He says that he has a good lawyer who he says was also paying her fees out of his money. I don't understand, if she was saying things in court that was a lie and you can prove it, then how is she able to still do what she's doing to you to this very day? In your estimate, giving you a lot of stress. If you're saying to us right now that she did certain things that were a violation of the law, why didn't your lawyer file, or why didn't you file certain petitions to get her held accountable? I'm just wondering, y'all. Let's continue.
Unexpectedly, you told the whole world and my name up that I kicked you out of the house when I was actually out of town filming a movie. You told people that I changed the locks and put you in a 1-year-old innocent child and chucked you to the streets.
Now, this is pretty bad because I remember this all came out. And of course, people raked him over the coals, criticized him for this. And he's saying that Miss Lee put it out there that, hey, he kicked us out of the house. He did this. And He's saying he did no such thing to her or his kid. And if that's lies, why didn't you take a defamation suit out against her, Tyrese? Because you're saying that it made you look bad, it hurt your reputation. Come on, man. You are an entertainer. You have friends in the entertainment business. You couldn't have gotten some type of lawyer that specializes in this sort of stuff. You could have filed a defamation, or at least you could have scared her with legal paperwork that told her to cease and exist from putting out lies about you if you could prove that that was all a lie. I'm just saying, everybody. Maybe he didn't want to deal with the hassle and the stress of it all. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember once again him being on social media crying and saying how he can't see his daughter. He just wants to see his daughter. And I'm going to say once again, something is off here when here you have a guy who's an entertainer, a celebrity, as he has said to us. He probably has more resources than this young lady. And I'm wondering, how did he get himself in a predicament to not have 50-50 custody of his child? This is really why he's in this situation. When you don't have 50-50 custody, gentlemen, listen to me. When you don't get it, when you don't file for it, men, when you get into a relationship or a marriage and there's a kid involved and you get a divorce or a breakup, you should be going straight to court. Hell, you should be going to court even before the woman to at least get joint custody of your child so that now you won't be involved in these entanglement situations around your child, and you won't be in a situation where you're crying and you're looking depressed because you can't see your child. I mean, I gotta be honest here. You really get yourself in a pickle where you're not able to be with your child when you sit back passively, or you just sit back and you let the woman take command of the legal action against you. Or if you don't show up to court, now the court is just going to deal with her, and whatever she wants, she gets. I don't understand why Tyrese Gibson, with his resources and connections to people that he knows in Hollywood, other actors and entertainers, why he does not to this very day have 50-50 custody. Something doesn't make sense here, in my opinion. As a man who's gone through the process without the drama that he's got, without all the nonsense with the court order. I didn't need no court order. It was a decision made between two mature people who were looking after what's in the best interest of a child in my situation. But not everybody has that situation. Let's just be honest. Let's continue.
Me and you and our marriage had barely survived the lies.
Barely survived the lies. This is crazy, y'all. So that's the situation. Tyrese Gibson. Wow. We'll have to see how this all plays itself out. From what I understand, if I'm not mistaken, he's out of jail. He didn't stay. I don't think he had to stay a night in jail. I think they arrested him. They held him in contempt of court. I think the judge was trying to send him a message, and they were trying to get money out of him, quite obviously. We'll see how this whole thing plays itself out. I appreciate everybody watching the video tonight. Those that are here, make sure that thank you for watching the video. Like and comment on the video. Subscribe to the channel. I thank you again, everybody. Again and again and again, I thank you for your support. We're just out here on these YouTube streets trying to tell the truth. You know what I mean?
Tell the truth.
And examine some of these weird things that are happening in our pop culture today, our social culture, whatever's going on. When I have opportunity, I definitely want to go live and talk about these sort of things. And upload videos and things of that nature that you may find interesting. So everybody, do me the biggest favor. If you're listening to this video on the replay or wherever you are in the world, share this video in your Facebook, your X, or your Twitter. Share it in your community tab if you're a content creator. Share it and share it alike wherever you are in the world, because I definitely would appreciate it if you share this video. Let people know about the channel. This is crazy, everybody. I don't know what to say. I mean, guys,
information
is power. Guys, we got to use better mental capacity when it comes to the women that we get involved with and women that we impregnate, or whether we should be impregnating certain women that we're involved with because maybe they're not sensible enough for us to have a conversation, so it doesn't get to the craziness that Tyrese Gibson is claiming, or not claiming, but saying that he has been going through for a number of years. Even though these folks are celebrities and they make a certain amount of money and they got a certain amount of recognition, they can go through things that the everyday regular person goes through. And we know that Tyrese has made it very clear to us on social media over the years how stressed out he is about his situation with his ex, in this case, Samantha Lee. And guys, you got to make better decisions with the women that you bring into your life. Once again, he was only married to her for 4 years. That's really nothing. They say in general that most marriages, if they don't make it over 3 years, they don't have a chance of making it any longer if you can't get over the 3-year hump of your marriage. And I wonder if things were going downhill within the 3rd year of his marriage before it ratcheted up to her filing for divorce in the 4th year. You know what I'm saying, y'all? And again, the man had to pay her. He was ordered to pay her $10,000 a month. He only paid her $2,200 a month, according to the court records, which is only 25% of what he owed. And my theory tonight is that may be the real reason why Tyrese Gibson finds himself in this situation, because they're going after him for the back pay that he did not make so many years ago, which is why he owes, according to the judge Farmer, he ordered him to pay $169,000. With that said, everybody, let me know how you feel about this particular situation. If you agree or disagree with the way Tyrese has been treated legally, if you agree and if you say, hey, Tyrese Gibson deserves everything that he's getting, he brought this on himself, what is he crying and whining about? Then leave those comments if that's how you feel about it. If you feel that he's been raked over the coals, say something about that. But I'm going to say this to the men, particularly the men. If you don't like the system, you have to come together and work together and unite and create coalitions to lobby the politicians just the way women do when it comes to their issues. This is why they get what they get. Men, we don't get much because we don't advocate for ourselves. We don't advocate for our health, which is why we don't live as long as women in general. And we don't advocate for stuff in terms of the laws that are put in place that we feel are railroading us. And because of that, because of our lack of action to change things that we don't like, that's in the law, that we could lobby to have these laws modified so there's more balance in family court. As long as we don't do that, men are always going to go to family court and say, hey, man, I got the short end of the stick. Everything I got is gone. I'm living in a cardboard box now. I'm just saying, y'all. So, and I think a man's relationship to his child is precious, is very important, and we should never underestimate that. With that said, everybody, I thank you. We'll be back at it again with another video. This is Info Media Reacts. Thank you. Take care, everybody.
Finish what you started. Place me where
Peace.
your heart is. What is this feeling? Almost like I'm dreaming.
Y'all take care.
You in my pocket.
Thank you for watching the program tonight.
What you have, I think I need that. Let you take control. Show me how it goes. Keep letting you know till we both grow old. You got me on my knees, begging you please. I'm not trying to make a scene, just want you and me. You belong with me. Open your eyes. The light is shining. The light is. Don't close your eyes.
Make sure you share the video and subscribe to the
Wanna know how good he makes me feel? Oh girl, come take a seat. Think about how I feel when you sit down. When all day you've been on your feet. When you're getting a back rub and then not just releases. When you've been on a strict diet and the day comes to cheating. When you let your head down when it's been up all day. When you're lost mentally and take time to pray. Stay after you meditate. Tell me, sis, can you relate? That's how it feels. Is he for real?
That's how you know you found real love. That's how you know you found love. That's how you know you hit a jackpot, girl, when you found love. Feel it in your blood.
Have you ever found some change at the bottom of your purse? Have you had someone make your day when you feel at your worst?
Girl, there ain't nothing better than that feel. I know it all so well. From the way that you smile and talk about him, I can tell.
You got me so strong, just like that T-Pain song. Never thought I'd get here the way these men be doing wrong.
Yes, I know it. Trust me.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth. You are listening to Information Man Podcast.